Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to those of you joining us on the West Coast. I would like to welcome you to today's online presentation, Mistakes Happen, Common Plan Errors and What to Do About Them. Today we have Phil Romello, Actuary and Multi-Employer Retirement Practice Leader, Segal Consulting, Brian Smith, Chief Operating Officer, Segal Select Insurance Services, and Serena Simmons, National Retirement Compliance Practice Leader, Segal Consulting. With that, I will turn things over to Phil to begin today's presentation.
Thank you, Dana, and welcome to our webinar today, Mistakes Happen. I'm Phil Romello, and thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us. Today's presentation is about common errors made by multi-employer plans and what to do about them. We want to put this presentation before you to encourage you to find and to fix those errors. Now, as we all know, mistakes happen even in the best run plans, and the sooner you find them and fix them, the better it will be for your plan and its participants. We think a good place to start looking is where the IRS would look. Makes sense to us. We hope it does to you too. Fortunately, they tell us, and we are going to tell you. Before we get going, I want to mention something that might be obvious to some, but needs to be emphasized, and that is the law applicable to mistake correction can be complicated. How a plan ultimately corrects a mistake is going to be driven in large part by the facts and circumstances of the particular plan, the particular error, and the trustees will need to rely on fund counsel's advice in sorting it out. Because of this, while we will be taking questions at the end of our presentation, we'll only be able to give general answers. So now, I'll turn it over to Serena.
Thank you, Phil. And again, thanks to all of you who are joining us this afternoon. I want to give Phil a chance to take a sip of water before we get started, and also to go over a few housekeeping comments for those who might have joined us late. And then I'll turn it back to Phil. Please remember that this is an overview of mistake correction, not a deep dive. And while all of us on this panel have had a lot of experience in the area, fund counsel's involvement with corrections is critical because the law is complicated and each situation is different. Today we'll be covering a number of common multi-employer plan mistakes as identified by the IRS. Some of these are found only in DB plans, and others are found in both DB and DC plans. However, I just want you to know from the beginning that we will not be covering any errors that are unique to 401k plans. And for example, we will not be covering any auto-enrollment or auto-escalation types of errors. Finally, we expect the webinar to last 45 minutes to an hour, and we'll be taking questions at the end. Now, back to Phil.
Thanks, Serena. As you can imagine, mistakes happen for a lot of reasons. Rules are complicated and they change frequently. Plan documents get longer and more complex every year. And the structure of multi-employer plans makes certain basic aspects of plan administration far more difficult to deal with. For example, just knowing when a participant has really terminated employment in a multi-employer plan, that's a difficult concept and that's a difficult fact to ascertain, and that becomes important in terms of plan operations. So our point here is it's not a blame game. You're not trying to find someone to find fault with. Plans are run by humans. Humans make mistakes, and therefore plans encounter mistakes, even very well-run plans. And even the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court says so. So why do we care? Well, the primary reason is that many mistakes result in plan participants or beneficiaries not getting the right amount of benefit, or perhaps getting their benefits at the wrong time. In addition, of course, these errors, particularly if not discovered for long periods of time, can be expensive to fix, and in some cases can lead to participant litigation that's difficult and costly.